All right, going to call this meeting to order. Dan, can you read the roll, please?
Lakshan. Rodriguez. Taylor.
Here.
Woken. Bennett Sternot. Goss. Harper.
Here.
Summers.
Here. Okay, we have quorum. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please? Thank you, Oken, and then Leah Taylor seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Again, a motion to approve the minutes, please. Let's look around. Okay,
So
and
moved.
all right. We have the motion by Jenny and the second by Bethany. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. I don't see any public other than our chair. Does our chair want to have any questions at this point? No? Okay. Any communications from members of the committee? Seeing none, let's go on to new business. Dana, you've got Richard Van Note with the GHR engineering report on the satellite jail.
Thanks, Richard, for being here. Appreciate it. You want to give us a update? They've got the field report attached that was from the 16th. So,
with regards to the satellite jail HVAC upgrade project, that project has essentially reached the point that we kind of all knew was coming, that we've finished most work that's can be done at this point in time. Essentially, we're waiting now for the air handlers to come in. As stated under the previous meetings, those air handlers likely won't be here until sometime next month. That's kind of what the current schedule is at this point in time. Once the air handlers come in, the contractor will basically hold those and sit on them until the weather becomes more suitable in the fall to do the replacement of the air handlers. The controls upgrade is essentially taken care of. At this point in time, the contractor is essentially going back and taking care of small little things that have come up during the project, cleaning that up. And my guess is essentially be off site for a while here soon, and kind of just be waiting until we kind of reach the fall. In the conversations we've had with them, once we start to reach the fall, we'll basically mobilize contractors and all of their subs at that point in time, get a game plan in place, make sure that everybody kind of understands what the actions are needed to switch out these air handlers, to make sure that we don't have extended downtimes for any of the pods or anything of that nature. As we stated before, those downtimes are going to be likely 3 to 4 days at least, but that's why we're waiting for the better weather in the fall. We can essentially, at that point in time, take the air handlers down, keep pumping outdoor air into the space to keep the inmates at least comfortable, and go ahead and get the their replacements done, and then get them back up and operational.
Any questions? Richard, I know you're not a weatherman, but I'm assuming you're thinking maybe October, possibly?
Well, at this point in time, the conversation has been that essentially what we would like to do is get everybody together in terms of the subs and the contractors and the county together early September. Make sure that everybody is kind of aware of what the situation is, what the air handler replacement is going to look like, things of that nature. The contractor is known from the very beginning of this project that this was going to be one of those things that is you're going to look at the weather. If the weather appears to be beneficial to us over the next week or so, and we have the air handlers in place, then we're going to be ready to go. They've known that that's the situation from the very start of this project, and they're willing to be ready to move for us. So while it's likely going to be in October, we have 2 air handlers, one that handles the kitchen and one that handles the booking portion of the jail. Those 2 aren't quite as specific as to when we can do the replacement. So those 2 we're going to kind of work in as we can. And whenever we get the ideal weeks that we kind of need something in the neighborhood of the 50 to 60 degree weather, something of that nature, we can go ahead and move and do the two that take care of the inmate pods. Like I said, you're correct, it's likely going to be close to October, but we're going to make sure that the contractor is ready to move to where if we do end up with a good week later in September, we'll go ahead and move.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to B, that'd be Chuck Reefsteck, updating us on satellite jail consolidation.
So attached in your packet is two sheets that Chuck's got up on the screen now that I've asked him to kind of talk through.
Sure, thanks. Just to let you know where we are, on May 18th, we submitted design development drawings and specifications to our committee. Design development is one of those milestones in our contract where we pretty much have all the systems, the types of systems in the building figured out. The next phase will be detailing all of that. But we then met with the committee on the 27th and received approval to move into the construction documents phase. We have a updated cost estimate, which is essentially the same as it was at the end of schematic design. It actually went down just a little. You see the estimated construction cost of $18.2 million. We're still carrying a design contingency of about $729,000, showing the construction cost then at $18.9 million. We want to continue to include two other contingencies, one for the bidding climate, which is 5%, so $949,000, and then a construction contingency, also a 5%, $949,000. So we have an estimated construction cost of $20.8 million. We're still designing two alternate bids, one being the conversion of the indoor exercise areas the conversion of the outdoor exercise areas to become indoor exercise, and then adding outdoor exercise as well in a new location. And those roughly are $1.7 million, those two alternates. The plan is, again, essentially the same as you've seen. Two pods, the north pod being all single occupancy cells. If you dial into that, and you can look at your drawing, you see the cells in the northwest corner being all slanted walls for full views of those cells, because those cells will be where the people most likely to injure themselves are housed, so that the pod control officer can keep a very good view on those inmates. The cells, again, in that pod are all single occupancy. Down in the southeast corner of that pod are our medical isolation cells, where we've got one pass air going through and should be safe environments then for people with contagious diseases. The south pod is a combination of double occupancy and single occupancy cells for a total count of 49 beds in that pod. And then as we've had all along, we've got healthcare services to the east and mechanical equipment there in the southeast corner as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I'll tell you our current activities. The past 2 weeks, we've been working closely with Carrie. We gave her a checklist to go through some of the security controls, where doors are operated from, what backup we have for that, where lights are controlled from. We're able to shut off plumbing fixtures in case inmates flood their cells in groups of 4, typically. Groups of 4 cells could be shut off remotely. So we're walking through all that kind of control and communications with Carrie, and we've got another meeting with her Thursday morning of this week. And then also Thursday night, we're meeting with the Urbana Plan Commission because we have to get a special use permit to add these 2 pods to the current jail. This is the first step in getting approval for that. If the Plan Commission will review it and forward it to the City Council, and then there'll be another presentation with the City Council. The date of that one escapes me right now, but in a few weeks. Happy to answer questions. Yes.
Just a quick one. I had understood it that we would have something that would be designated as like educational space in the new pod. Is that what the multipurpose rooms are designated as?
And I missed the one word you said.
Oh, is that the
Pro-
multipurpose rooms? Are those the educational areas
Oh,
that
yes,
we had?
yeah. So
Yeah.
we've got, multi-purpose. There's a small room in the north pod. Also, the exercise area. There's an indoor exercise area where those kind of opportunities can happen as well. And then in the south pod, there's also a multi-purpose room and an exercise room as well. So yeah, there are at least 4 spaces for education and programs and things like that.
Anyone else with any questions? Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Moving on to item C, go back and talk with Ms. Smalley again, who just walked us through the County Plaza building.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, good. Right. All right, just a reminder of all the stakeholders that are moving into the plaza. Of course, the team just walked it this evening. The last time I was here, the steering committee, the design core committee had agreed on this stacking diagram. And since then, we have further developed the floor plans. And I'm not going to go through each one of them with you guys, but these were largely adjacency diagrams. This one's on the lower level. You can see the conference room, which will basically be the Brookins or the Lyle Shields room there on the lower right-hand corner. The multi-purpose space, and then also the sheriff's space. Moving up to the floors, this one will have the treasurer and the clerk and recorder, and that shared break room in the upper corner. This is the second level. It will also have additional clerk vote by mail space, the auditor, and the assessor board of review space. Level 3 will be where the county board and the administration is, along with GIS and planning and zoning. Sheriff takes over the 4th level, along with IT. And then public defender has the 5th floor. And as you can see, we have started on the agencies that have approved their adjacency diagrams. We have started putting walls, doors, really, solidifying these spaces. This is the 1st floor. I think the treasurer has approved their space, and then we're waiting for the clerk to give us the go-ahead on their space. So I did not include level 2 in this. This is level 3. Level 4, primarily again sheriff space and IT. And then the 5th level for public defender. That's really it. Any questions?
Yep. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
Could that be sent to us? Can we look at that better?
Yeah, it's on the or it's on the desktop here, but I can PDF it and send it to you guys. No, understand it's still kind of in flux. That's why I flipped through it really quick. There's lots of development that has to happen. So
Awesome,
If you
thank you.
ship that to me, Carla, I will send it out to the committee.
okay.
Go ahead,
Everybody
Jenny.
okay getting it via email?
Go ahead, Jenny.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming over to the space today, too. It was really helpful having you there to answer questions as they came up. I was able to visualize that a lot better, having been through the building now.
Great.
And I'll reiterate, thank you for walking us through. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
anytime.
we'll have the
We're,
plans in a little
we're-
while to take a look at a little closer. And hopefully the clerk will, I know he was taking a walk through as well and seemed happy with the way things were laid out. So hopefully we'll be able to move forward with that without too many more hiccups. Right.
I agree.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I
What-
got next.
Yeah, well, moving on. Yeah, if she's done. Yeah, salt dome replacement, you've got a punch list attached for us on that.
correct. There was a punch list that was attached. A counterpart of Carlos, Todd Higginbotham, was assigned this project, could not be here tonight, but the project is complete. As you can see from the attached punch list, there are a few items yet need to be done. Most of them, 95% of them are down at a reasonable height, about 4.5 feet off the ground, so it's a lot easier to take care of. And basically, it's caulking around the metal coping around the building. A few other things minor that need to be done, but have not heard yet back. Todd has not heard, nor have I, from Top Roofing on when they hope to be back to complete their punch list, but they did promise to be back. Obviously, they want to get paid, so they will be back and finish their work. I will say that Top Roofing, even though they're not here from Champaign, they did an absolutely fantastic job. They're the first roofer that we've really, other than Knickerbocker working at the courthouse, they did a fantastic job. They had somebody out cleaning the last hour of each day, as you might imagine, working on a tall building like that with the winds that were prevailing during the time of roof replacement. Picking up trash, picking up nails. They were extremely thorough and really much appreciated by certainly our staff and County Highway, who uses that facility extensively. So, great project. County engineer's happy with the outcome and how it looks. So, we just got to get them back to finish up a few things.
Any questions for Dana?
No, I can add, I did talk to Todd today. He did talk to the contractor on the salt dome. They plan to be back out this week to wrap up those punch list items, weather permitting. And the manufacturer's warranty inspection has already been completed on salt dome. At Brookins, the manufacturer's warranty inspection is scheduled before the end of June.
Thank you. Okay. If there are no further questions, then we can move on to item E, and that's the Brookins Pod 300 rubber membrane replacement project, the roof.
Yeah.
Dana?
So it's very similar to the salt dome. They've completed the project. In fact, we've been up and reinstalling some HVAC. Apologize for this unit above here on Pod 300 is not quite working the way it is. We'll have to get our building automation folks out to fine tune this. But the roof's in great shape. We've got to get them back out. You've seen the punch list, which is attached. They've got some things to replace. They've got a spot in the parking lot that needs to be repaired. They've got some grass seed to throw down, some dirt to toss to fill in a couple holes. And then they've got more trash yet to pick up in the courtyard and in the surrounding area. They did not do as good of job as Top Roofing did. This again was Knickerbocker. We had a great experience with them with the courthouse, but that was an asphalt shingle replacement. So this is a totally different crew with a rubber EPDM a replacement. But they were good to work with. They've got everything out of here finally, and which we are appreciative, but we got to get them back to finish up. Carla mentioned that all the manufacturers come in on their roof material to finalize and to certify so that warranty is in place. So they will be back towards the end of the month to do that here for the Brookins roof, and then hopefully finally be done. That is an insurance project along with the salt dome. As you may remember, we have a number of those that need to be finalized, and we'll be doing some work with our insurance carrier to provide information that those projects have been finalized, as well as the final costs. And there'll be some, I'm sorry, some horse trading back and forth of they're going to owe us a little bit of money, but we'll be fine.
Thank you, Dana. Does anybody have any questions for Dana? Okay. Lastly, sorry, go ahead.
What is a fish mouth?
Okay, any further questions? All right. The update on courthouse parking lot, and I noticed you had a lot of small signs out there not long ago, Dana.
So we went. So on the 31st of the month of May, we went live with our change in parking. If you remember, voted back in January and February to eliminate the public parking at the courthouse, Lot F, and Lou taking those 55 roughly spots and turning them over to staff. The thinking was, let's take care of our staff. It's staff that comes in early in the mornings, and during the winter, it's dark out. They were walking 2 blocks, some of them, to the building, or when they would leave at night, it would be dark. The public comes to the building, pays for parking, but they come during daylight hours. So basically, court's from 9 to about 4:30. There's roughly 350 parking spaces within about a 2-block radius of the courthouse. You've got the parking garage at the corner of Broadway and Main Street that's got 200 spots in it. A variety of 120 of them have the ability to either pay at the meter or pay on your phone. You've got 100+ spots at the Civic Center, roughly the same thing. You got about between a 2-block area on Main Street, you've got about 30, 35 spots that they can park at for meters. It's roughly the same price. So we filled our staff in based on seniority for working for the county. So it wasn't necessarily if an employee has been working for the county for 20 years but only at the courthouse for 5 years. We went with seniority that we have on our payroll records. So we were able to get 55 more of our staff in. We're down to about 55, 56 people who are not parking or able to park at Lot F because we've reached the maximum. So a combination of folks parking at County Plaza as well at Save a Lot, which is no longer Save a Lot, and it is for sale. I'm not sure what the final outcome will be on that, but we'll pay close attention to that. So the changeover went pretty good. We towed a few vehicles the first day or two. Don't believe we've towed any yesterday or today. Posted a number of signs. We had our larger signs repainted. You know, that they clearly say, you know, this is no public parking in here. It's, you know, staff. It's ADA issued state tags, or it's a parking pass issued by the county to employees only. You'll be towed at your at your expense, basically. Our tower is Reynolds, and I will tell you that's expensive. It's $240 if you get your car towed. But our staff like it. They appreciate it, and we did our best. We've sent out a press release. I'm not sure many of the news outlets picked it up or printed it in the paper, but the staff inside the courthouse who send out publications and send out notifications have not only the information, but they've got maps of the 2.5 block radius around the courthouse showing where people can park, and that's been addressed. So feel pretty positive that we did our best effort to communicate that to the public. And again, with the additional signage that we had up, felt pretty good about it. We still have some folks who will pull in and test the waters. And, you know, not every staff member who's been assigned there comes to work 8 to 5. So, you know, if only being towed if the staff member shows up. And we created basically a parking URL that goes to Chris and myself and Dan and to Rita in our administration, and the 4 of us get them all. And so if somebody, you know, contacts us, we contact the tower, let them know what spot. We've created 4 spots in the county plaza for employees who might be stuck when the public member is parked in their space. So if somebody's parked there, they can go right over to the county plaza, park, go into the office. Just ask them to email us quickly, and we'll get the tower out as quickly as possible.
Go ahead, Jenny.
I think you just answered my question. But is there availability in the county plaza lot until construction starts on that building for courthouse employees? Which I think you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
We've asked our staff not to have a conversation, not to talk to them, just, okay, get the vehicle, get the license plate, your spot number, contact us, go park at County Plaza and go to work, do your thing, but please, you know, email, it's parking@co.champaign.il.us. So it's pretty simple, and it works, so.
Go ahead,
And
Jenny.
just to confirm, the ADA spaces are open to anybody with those tags, right? Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, we will, now if there's a car that does not have an ADA tag, you know, that's kind of a problem, but we haven't experienced that. We did create an additional ADA spot in the lot, which took 2 parking spots over, but we were able to do that. So we have a total of 6. There are also ADA parking spaces available in the parking garage at the Civic Center. So there are other options as well if for some reason we have more than 6. So feel pretty good about that. We have not seen, at least so far in, you know, 7 days, I've not seen the lot, or at least the ADA spots, full up.
With the number of no parking signs you had off of the Main Street entrance, you'd be really hard pressed not to notice that public parking is not permitted there any longer. So, not seeing any other questions. I really don't have any other business. Anybody on committee have anything they'd like to bring up at this point, since we've going to be another month before we can meet? Seeing none, I have no presiding officer's report. Our next meeting's Tuesday, August 2nd, and we have no items to be placed on consent. So,
Yeah. I got one.
go ahead,
I've got to kudos to Dan Busey. Dan shouldered the duty of talking to the staff, communicating to the staff at the courthouse, and was absolutely terrific. You know, a job that, you know, it's one of those things, duties as assigned, and he did a terrific job of organizing it and working with the staff. And Obviously, there's, when you mess with people's parking or you're trying to help them and they want this or that, it's, but for the most part, it's a very good thing that they got parking there. But some of the folks who didn't qualify because of their seniority, wanted to know why. So Dan, good job, buddy.
Thank you, Dan. You can't please all the people all the time. So, all right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming, folks.